Hi my amazing people, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For the returning subscribers, thank you so much. For the new subscribers, welcome to this channel. My name is Susan Mwanza and this is Susan Mwanza Official. I bring to you amazing and fun videos to watch. So welcome into this amazing family. And if you have not yet subscribed, kindly consider subscribing to this YouTube channel. I really appreciate. Like the video, comment and share. In today's video, it's a continuation of last time's video. So if you have not yet watched part 1 of this, kindly go and watch that part for you to understand, because it is a continuation. It is the story of my life. And this is the part 2 of the story of my life. So kindly watch to the end. Don't skip for you to understand what really happened. This is where now depression has kicked in. I don't know whether I am depressed. I will tell you how I knew I was depressed. But now my sister calls me after my exams, because I was doing nothing at home. So she calls me in, I came to Nairobi, and now another chapter of my life begins from there. What happened? Watch to the end. Don't skip. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have not yet. And so now I'm introduced to new life. I'm beginning life in another dimension. Yani naanza maisha upya. It's like I'm beginning life afresh in a different place. But I have my sister and the husband and the children. Those are the people that I know. So now life begins. They introduced me to their church. Remember, I got saved when I was in Form 3, but I never knew what salvation is. I never understood how a saved person should live. So I'm just living a normal life. So now my sister introduces me to their church. It's a good church. She's in praise and worship. The husband is the pastor's interpreter. Now, in my sister's place, I used to do almost all the chores, because I cannot stay with my sister and just sit down, watch her do all the chores. I have to help. That is what I was taught. We have to help each other. But now, this thing it was normalized now. It was like it is a must you do these things. You are here, you must do these things. And now it became worse. Maisha yakabadilika sasa. Now the hate I saw when I was a child, I start seeing it now. I thought it was just because we were young. Mimi nilifikiria ni kwa sababu tulikuwa wadogo ndo manake maisha yalikuwa vile, lakini si hivyo. Maisha sasa yameanza kukua real. Life is now real here. She's showing me all the hate that she can with everything that she has. I'm introduced to the church. Introduced to the neighborhood. There are shops. There is Mama Mboga. I'm used to this life. But now my sister is taking this too far now. I'm waking up at around 5:30 a.m. in the morning, prepare the children, her own children. She's sleeping. Take them to school. Come back. She's still sleeping. Take dirty clothes. Go do laundry. And there's a specific way that our clothes used to be washed. You would wash the clothes twice. Rinse them twice. And then they are now ready to be hanged. There's no another way you do those clothes. You have to do them the way she wants. Yani vile yeye anataka. Nguo zake zioshwe mara mbili, hata kama ni nyeusi osha mara mbili, kamua mara mbili, then uende uanike. Upon finishing and hanging the clothes, I would come back to the house. Nipate sasa ndio ameamka. Sasa hiyo ni saa 8 ndio anaoshaosha vyombo, amekunywa chai. Kufika tu hivi ananiambia mimi nimeshindwa kupika. Enda ukanunue chakula huko kwa kibanda ulete. That is what I used to do. Remember, nimetoka kuosha nguo, nimekuja nimeoga maji baridi kwa sababu aliniambia kwake hajaninunulia mafuta ya kuchemsha maji. She told me that she has no money to spend on fuel for me to warm water for showering. So I used to shower with cold water, very cold water. And I mean cold. Nairobi is really cold. She also told me that in town, no one can host you for free. So I had to work. She told me no one can give you food, shelter for free. So you must work. So I was working for food and somewhere to lay my head. And that is who she is. That is what she told me. I had to do it because I was staying with her. And I was waiting for my parents to take me to school. So I had nothing else to do but to wait patiently and also believe in God to make a way for me. So I go buy food, bring it, and then eat very quickly, go pick the children from school. That was my routine. I would do that every week, the schools close, they open, close, open. That was my routine. Now, there's one thing that I never liked with my sister. She had a small baby, not small as a baby. She was a toddler. She was a year and something. And this girl used to poop on herself, which is normal for kids. But she's old enough to be potty trained. But my sister never did that. When I asked her to potty train the girl, she told me, wash my daughter's poop. I washed yours when you were little. When you were a baby, I washed your own poop. You pooped on me. I washed your poop. Wash the poop. That is what she told me. Because she had told me, I did this for you, do it. I did. I continued doing it. I did it. So life continued. My sister mistreated me. My self-esteem went really down. At some point, I decided now to look for a job because I have finished school and now I can work. So I tell a neighbor to get me a job. There was a vacancy in their office. He told me, there's a vacancy. I will take you there on Monday for training. I tell my sister, so and so has gotten me a job. She told me, you are not going. Do you know why? Because here in Nairobi, people are sold, people are killed, people are sacrificed. And there's no way you are going. You are in my hands. And if anything bad happens to you, I will be held responsible for that. So I did not go. That job went. Another person got that chance. Another time I got a job. She told me the same things. Remember that she's instilling fear in me. Whenever she tells me these things build up in me, and fear now started growing in me. Yani nikakuwa mwoga. I became so fearful. I told another neighbor to get me a job. I never used to talk to people. Remember I told you in the previous video that I was not talking. I would talk when it is necessary. So later on he told me he did not get a job. But what he decided to do, he brought some SIM cards. They were then called the orange. He told me to go selling them. I really tried to sell those cards, but they were not giving. They were not selling. So I brought them back to him. I only sold around 2 or 3. I don't know how many, but I sold a few. So when I brought them back, I told him, my sister is not giving me enough time to sell the cards. So I opted to return them to you. What this man did, he gave me the amount that I had already sold. I was so happy. I was like, wow, this man is so generous. I have never seen such a person. So that is all about me searching for a job. So I stopped searching for a job. Now the abuse continues. It has not stopped there. My sister is abusing me right and center. Everything, if I mess up a little, she would abuse me. Nikikosea tu kidogo, ananipigia makelele, ananitusi. The more she abuses me, those abuses would grow in me. It's like you are planting maize and this maize plant is now growing. These assaults or these abuses are now growing in me. And I'm becoming what she's telling me. Whatever she is calling me, that is who I am becoming. It is becoming worse. Self-esteem, there's no self-esteem any longer. It is not even low. There's no self-esteem. I'm becoming, I don't know the right word to use, not to be disrespectful, but nakuwa mjinga yani. Nakuwa zuzu. I'm becoming a fool. I do not understand who I am any longer. This continued for a very long time. It was too much. I cannot even tell you everything here because this video will be so long. I know someone would ask me, if this is your sister, why did you not opt to go home? Why were you there? Why did you go back home? You have your own home. Now, my parents had told me, whenever I passed through things, I would call them and tell them. And they would tell me, be patient, we want to take you to college. So I was there patiently waiting for my parents to get money to take me to college. So I stayed there for a very long time. I stayed there for 1 year. Then the following year I was taken to school. But before then, I want to tell you something that I've just remembered. Now, when I was staying with my sister, whenever there's something wrong or we are not in good terms with my sister, she would call my mom and tell her the side of her story. So I called my mom and tell her that this and this and this has happened. Do you know what she would tell me? That your sister has already called me. She has told me what the problem was. It happened severally. But my mother, remember I told you in the previous video that my mother has never stood with me, or she has never treated me fairly in the incidences that I've told you. In this one now, my mother does not listen to me. Whatever my sister tells her, that is what she would say, that is what she would hold up. That is hiyo ndo atasimama nayo aseme huo ndio ukweli. Hata kama dadangu amedanganya, atasimama na huo. Yeye hataki kusikia upande wangu. Ilifanyika kwa muda mrefu, imejirudia kwa muda mrefu. So now, no one is on my side. I'm again alone. It is upon you now to fight for yourself. I stopped talking to my mother. I stopped talking to people again. And now I stand on myself. So at this point now, I'm so furious. I decided to poison my sister's family because she's mistreating me and no one is on my side. No one is hearing my side of the story. So I decided to poison them because I was the one who was cooking. But another thought comes in. If you poison them, you are going to prison. And then I stop because I cannot be in prison because of a person. So I stopped. But now it is becoming worse. It is worsening. My situation is worsening. My mental health is worsening. I am a nobody now. I am feeling worthless. I am so angry. I used to cry every now and then. When something happens to me, I used to cry it out. I used to cry most of the time. So now this time round, I am becoming mad. Yani nakuwa mwenda wazimu. I hear voices telling me, let's go and collect papers. Let's go out. Let's go do this. Collect papers. Those papers are all over. Go collect them. These people are talking. I hear people talking in me. And now I hear again those voices cancelled. And that thing is cancelled. And that is how I was almost running mad. Then, now the next step that I'm about to do is worse than this one. Things are now worsening very much. Nasikia sasa sistahili kuishi. I don't want to live any longer. I just want to die because no one loves me. No one has ever stood by me. I'm always alone. I'm hated. No one wants to be associated with me. And now the thoughts of committing suicide are now coming. I have no other option other than committing suicide because I'm a nobody. I'm a fool. That is who I am. I'm a fool. And so now I prepare dinner and I go out. I stay on the balcony for a very long time, crying. But now this time round, I don't feel like going back. I'm going forward. I am committing this suicide. I am jumping over the balcony to the ground floor. You are staying in the third floor, in that flat. Sisikii kama nataka kurudi na nyuma, nataka tu kusonga na mbele. Hii ndio nimeamua na ndio nitafanya. This is what I have decided to do and this is what I'll do. I am not going backwards, forward ever now. And then I stand up. I decide to jump over the balcony. Let me tell you people, you hear people say when you feel like it's your end, you have nothing else. When you feel like you are at your worst, that is when God now begins. That is when God now shows you that I am here. That is the beginning of God working on you. And now, I'm now planning to jump. I'm seated down on the floor. And then I stood up. And by the time I was turning now to climb on the balcony, I heard someone tap me on my shoulder. I really cried. I sat down crying. And this man asks me, "What is wrong? What are you doing here at this time of the night?" And I tell him, "I am tired. I don't want to live any longer." I felt like I don't want to live. But this man talked to me. He gave me his testimony. And I calmed down. And that thought came out of my mind. And so I went back into the house. And I've never again thought of committing suicide. But at that point, let me take you back. At that point, when this man taps me on my shoulder, I think he told me God loves you. And when he told me that, I felt God's love embrace me. I have never felt that in my entire life. I have never. This love was so strong that everything negative in me was erased. So that was now the beginning of my life with God. Remember I told you I got saved when I was in Form 3. But now this time round, God is showing himself mightily in my life. And so now my life begins there. That thought of committing suicide was erased completely. And so now I became patient. The following year I was taken to school. I joined college. I was good in school. But the challenges continued. They continued. Now, when my sister, let me give you a funny story, it's funny, but it is good. Ile inaitwa wivu mzuri. When I was taken to college, my sister also now decides to go back to school, which is good. That was good. So we used to go to school. The husband goes to work. The children go to school. So no one was at home. So now my sister, because the husband, of course, is supporting her, she's given transport money to and from. But as for me, I have no one to give me money because my parents are not well off. So I would walk from the house to school and back to the house every day. And unless now I have some money. But I would like to say this. There is someone who really supported me in my journey in school. I have a brother-in-law who really supported me. He told me, whenever you have any issue, just call me, tell me the issue, I will sort it out. And that was the story. Anytime I call him, he would support me. Thank you so much, brother-in-law. I love you so much. May you never lack. May you stay blessed. May you live longer, that you may eat the fruits of the plant that you planted in me. God bless you. That man really stood with me, and my sister too. My sister was there for emotional support, spiritual guidance. She was really there for me. I used to talk to her. She was my confidant by then. At this time now, I'm starting to talk to people because now I went to college. I met new people. I was now able to talk. Now my self-esteem started growing. So I managed to now to start opening up. When I'm passing through something, I'll talk to my sister. I have two elder sisters. I don't want to mention their names. So now that sister would help me financially, emotionally, spiritually, because she's a born-again Christian. Thank you so much, sis. I love you so much. And that is why I always tell you that you have a mother's heart. Continue serving God genuinely and faithfully. And God is going to use you for nations, not even in Kenya. You are made for nations. Continue being faithful to God. I love you so much. Let me take you back before now going to college. Now, I started developing health issues. I was having difficulties in breathing. I would feel pain in my heart. I mean pain in my heart. I have difficulties in breathing. They took me to hospital. Nothing. The doctor said there was nothing, but he gave me some meds. So this problem grew. It really disturbed me. I was in a really bad shape, but God helped me. I'm in college. I know my duties. Whenever I'm in class, I know I'm going home. The dishes are dirty, or I'm going to wash clothes. I have not done my assignment. I have to do all this by myself. So every day when I'm coming home from school, I know I am supposed to do this. I know my responsibilities very well. I couldn't even come, sit down and relax. No, I have to come in from school. I have walked a very long distance. Those who know Isli, on this side of Kiambu, we were near the slums of Kiambu. That is where we were living. And I was walking from there all the way to town center at Afya Center Development House. That is where I was schooling. So I would walk through Gikomba, through Juakali, Muthurwa, then town center to school, then back each and every day. That was my routine. And so when I come back home, I knew very well this is what I have to do. So whenever my sister found me seated down, I was relaxing a little bit for me to start now my duties. She would insult me and ask me, why are you seated down? Don't you know that my children need to eat? Go and wash the dishes. Go and do that. Do this. That is what she would tell me. I wake up quietly, go and do my duties. I remember even I couldn't even watch the television because she told me that the television was not bought for me. It was bought for her children. That was my life. There are a lot of things that happened to me that led to all these things, but I can't say them here. The video will be very long. So now, fast forward, I'm now about to finish college, to finish my education, and now my sister decides to chase me away from our house. It is at night. I don't know anyone there. I have no friends. She denied me of having friends or even talking to people. Whenever she found me talking to people, she would tell me to go back into the house. So I had no friends. I I was antisocial. I didn't know how to socialize with people, so I had no friends. She locked the door for me. I called my mother. I told her she has locked me out. Fortunately, there was a girl that I was not too very much close with, but I knew her. I went to her, talked to her, told her that my sister has chased me out of her house, and I asked her to let me sleep there for a night or two before I know what to do next, and she allowed me. I called the husband, my brother-in-law. I told him that my sister has chased me out of her house, but what I want is that when he comes back home, he should call me to come and pick my clothes because I didn't want to get late to church. The following day was on Sunday. I was introduced to this church by a friend who we were staying with in the same plot. So nilimwambia my brother-in-law akifika, niambie nije nichukue nguo zangu. So that is what he did. Upon getting in that house, the insults that I got my clothes and went out. I never talked to anyone. That is how my sister chased me from her home. So now my parents call my brother, tells my brother that we should stay together. They will provide food for us. That is what happened. Now, my older brother is working. I'm in school. I have no money. He is somehow having some money. So now the challenges of life continues because I have other siblings who are in school. They have to be taken care of. So sometimes I would go hungry for some days. Sikupata mahitaji kwa wakati ufaao. Saa zingine ningekosa mahitaji yangu. And so I didn't blame them because I knew the situation at home. So I decided now to stop calling them and asking them for money. So now my brother would cook food, eat all of it. Kakangu angepika chakula, ale na akose kuniwekea chakula. Ama akose kuniambia njoo tule. So yeye apike akule, alale. Kesho asubuhi amke, ale chakula chenye kilibaki, anunue breakfast yake mzuri mzito, akule, ashibe, aende kazini. So I'm like, why am I hated by my family? Because that was my sister. This is my brother. Kwani mimi ndio mbaya au nini? Nijiuliza hayo maswali. And so ilinisumbua sana. Ilinisumbua. Familia yangu hatujiwezi vizuri, na hawa ni wale ni wako karibu na mimi wananitreat vibaya. Now after that happened for several months, my brother now decides to shift to another place. I have nowhere to go. So I have to go to the very friend who hosted me for the first time and tell her my brother is shifting. Kindly let me come in, but we will be sharing the rent. That is what happened. I stayed with that friend until now she shifted. I was left there alone. So that is how now my life was. And so now I'm married. Fast forward, one of my sisters brings me a smartphone. I have never had a smartphone in my life. So my sister gives me one. So I want to show you now how I knew that I was depressed. At what point did I notice I was depressed and how I started my healing journey? To tell you the truth, if you trust in God, He will give you all the answers that you need. The questions that you have, He has the answers. He will take care of you. He will guide you. He will lead you. Just stay put. Despite the challenges that you are passing through now, just stay put. Continue waiting upon the Lord. Do not deviate from the word of God. Do not deviate from the ways of God. Stay there. I received help from God. I remember I couldn't even use a mirror on me. Singechukua kioo nijiangalie uso wangu, kwa sababu nilikuwa nimeambiwa mimi ni sura mbaya. And I grew to know that I was ugly. No using mirrors on me. But God, He would tell me, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made in the image of God. And now I started accepting myself. I started seeing myself beautiful. I started seeing myself as a child of God. That is how now my self-esteem started growing again. I started accepting myself. I started loving myself. And that is the beginning of my healing. As I was editing this video, I noticed that I've not done the outro. And that is why I'm here to do the outro. But before then, I would like to know your views on my story. If you are in my shoes, what would you have done? If you had passed through what I passed through in the hands of my family members, what would you have done? And I would also want to know, what is your story? What have you passed through? What are some of your challenges that you have passed through when growing up? And how did you manage to handle them? Let us interact in the comment section. I will really appreciate. I would also want to thank you. If you have watched up to this far, then you are truly a family. Thank you so much. God bless you. And if you have watched up to this far, kindly comment in the comment section, I have. Just comment, I have. This is the second part of this story of mine. The next and the last part of this story is my healing process. How I knew I was depressed and how I began my journey of healing and what I've learned through my love story. Because you must have some few lessons that you learn from everything that you do in life. You must have the positive side and the negative side of the story of what you have learned. Because I have analyzed most of my negative side of the story, now I am going to show you the positive side of it. Watch the next part for you to understand how I healed, and is it possible for one to heal from depression. So with that said, thank you so much for watching this video up to this far. God bless you. Kindly make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.